This is Common Sense Radio. Straightforward and no excuses.
All right. Come on now.
This is the Steve Gruber Show.
Call me crazy.
Oh, yeah.
What I said was perfectly right and spot on accurate.
Boy's got a mouth like a cannon, always shooting it all.
Stop. Yeah, stop. I mean, you're way off script.
Got it in me. Gonna quit until it all comes out.
Hey, boy!
Been a long education.
Yeah, you know, it's not cynical. It's common sense.
Pay attention to me when I'm talking to you.
I'm gonna rock the nation. Rock the nation.
Genuine, accountable, and raw. Here is Steve Gruber.
Surprise, Duran Martinez in for Steve Gruber today. And believe me, surprises happen at every turn today. It's been one of those days. It's a Friday. Okay, I'm like physically checked out. I've had this cold type chest thing for like 2 weeks now. Just taking OTC stuff, over the counter stuff. Couldn't get into the doctor. They've been full. Seems I'm not the only one. So woe was me. I can't get into the doctor, but happy to be filling in and then spraying down, basically fogging the studio with Lysol a little bit later on. So if you smell it here on the east side of Lansing, it's probably me. Would love to take your calls today. 888-900-9966, 888-900-9966. Let's ask the questions. Do you care about Lamar Odom and the situation he's put himself in? Because he's a celebrity, because he decided to check into a brothel in Nevada, according to Dennis Hoff on the Nancy Grace show, the footage says that he prepaid for 5 days. Prepaid for a 5-day stay at the brothel. Was being entertained by a couple of young ladies with drinks and, food and the like. So, he was eating and things like of that nature, partying, having fun. Apparently, allegedly, according to reports, was doing some illegal drugs prior to his entrance to the place, and then partaking in herbal enhancement pills, much like of the same type of Viagra, herbal, and then proceeded to possibly, allegedly, OD. Couldn't get a helicopter out because he's too big. Took 4 people to put him in an ambulance, and he's currently in a hospital. The estranged husband of one of the Kardashian sisters. Making a lot of news, but really, is it as important as Hillary's emails? Do we still give a damn about Hillary's emails? 888-900-9966. I'd like to know if you still care about the email, if you still care about the private server and the information contained in those emails. And is it a non-topic? Is it a witch hunt by Republicans, as even some Republicans are saying that this is to go after Hillary? You know what? I look at it this way. Americans perished, and she was nowhere to be found at that time. She was not on watch. So, in my personal opinion, yeah, I want to know. I want to know what information is in those emails, and why was it not better staffed? Why was that embassy not better staffed? Why was help not more readily available with apparent unrest in that area? So, yeah, I care about this stuff. And know the Lamar Odom thing is, to me, it's a non-issue. Allegedly was doing some things that were probably not in his best interest. So, going to go to Dave in Negaunee right now regarding the emails. Up there in the UP, I love Negaunee. How are you, Dave? Good morning.
I'm doing all right. We had white stuff on our windows this morning.
Stop it, Dave. I was just up in the Sioux over the weekend. Don't give me that frost thing.
Yeah.
What's on your mind this morning?
Well, I mean, I've been listening to you all morning, and, I'm going to pop in. I mean, the problem is that the drip of everything coming out is that it appears that nobody's doing anything, although listening to your guest yesterday, it sounds like they're doing a lot of stuff. It's just a matter of whether they're going to follow through. The email, people died. Oh, wait, I guess it really wasn't that serious. We found that the FBI investigated. Well, the FBI doesn't investigate machines. They investigate people. The FBI is investigating her. General Petraeus was charged and convicted for doing nasty stuff. Oh, wait, he shared stuff with a girlfriend that was writing a book. And he got charged. But Hillary Clinton, the Secretary of State, is above the law?
I look at a 4-star general. I'm thinking that's pretty high ranking myself. Hey, forgive my ignorance of ranking throughout our state government. I think I probably got a pretty good handle as opposed to most people in this country. But she is a person. She is not above the law, despite what her last name is or despite who her husband is. And
they come along and they treat the military like garbage. The VA, and the VA has been this way under other administrations, but the VA is garbage. My brother works for the VA and he's in a good office. But as a whole, we have VA people dying every day. We have people committing suicide every day. They don't mention that in the debate. But like I said, the military people, we had a military person forewarn his people about an attack, and he was court-martialed. We had a military person beat up an Afghani general because he was raping children on base, and we looked the other way. But the leader of the free world can get away with doing whatever they want.
Appreciate the call, David Nagani. I agree with I agree with you, and I appreciate the call. And don't ever call again saying you got white stuff in October. I don't want to know about your frost. No, I'm kidding. I do want to know because I love Michigan. I love our Upper Peninsula, and I love this country. And I love. We need to find out more. We need to investigate more. There was closed door sessions to be going on today regarding some of the emails, but I, along with everybody else, I'm sorry, Bernie. I want to know about the emails. I want someone to be held accountable for what has happened. I want someone, look, like he said, if General Petraeus can be, can face charges and be relieved and all of the things, I hold him in higher regard than I do Hillary Clinton. That's not hard. So why are we not seeing more? What is the holdup? They have thousands and thousands of emails from a private server. The information is there. Release the information. Let the public know what you're finding. And despite the fact that she's a potential candidate for the presidency of the United States, we need to know. We need to know, plain and simple. Okay, I care. Despite I don't know who was in on the on who was surveyed according to Bernie Sanders. He says the American people. I'm an American person. I care. So don't paint with such a broad brush. I'm Duran Martinez. Rivalry weekend, Michigan State. Weigh in on the Steve Gruber Show Facebook page. Would love to see and hear what you have to say what the outcome's going to be. 15 after the top of the hour on the Michigan Talk Network.
Keeping you in touch with Michigan and the world. Filling in for Steve Gruber, here's Duran Martinez.
Welcome back to the Steve Gruber Show. I'm Duran Martinez. Oh, my God, I don't like that song. Alex Clark, our engineer, producer extraordinaire down in the basement, pushing my buttons this morning. The Spartan fight song. Many of you like it. That's okay. I jest because this is such a contentious time in my household. My girlfriend, Sarah Marie, big State fan. My dad, big State fan. I, not so much. I'm on the opposite end. But I will say this in all honesty. I have great respect for Coach D'Antonio and the team and Coach Izzo and his teams as people and as coaches. And sometimes that can be very difficult to find from the Michigan fans. And when you have to talk to a former Spartan, a former Atlanta Falcon on the phone, you better have respect. TJ Duckett joining me on the phone. Todd, good morning. How are you, sir?
I mean, I thought I was on the wrong show for a minute. All this Michigan talk going on. I'm like, what's happening?
Oh no! It's like going Mark Ingram doing the Dirty Bird, last night. Oh,
yes. Thanks for having me, man. How you doing?
TJ, very good. This is my first chance to really talk to you, and I appreciate your time, and I appreciate what you and Cato Jr. are doing. A former standout in the Big Ten, and of course in the NFL as well. He, a former Indianapolis Colt. You with the Atlanta Falcons. You guys are taking this rivalry to a level of charity, and I find that very admirable.
Yeah, the House Divided Challenge. It's Cato and I. We both give back. We both are very involved in the community, and obviously this weekend is a huge weekend for both of us. So we're trying to figure out a way that we could take the game that we love and we gave everything to, but also now use what we are passionate about now, giving back, helping you, being involved in the community. How can we use that? How can we spin that in a positive way, create a challenge so we are competitive and make a difference? So that's here we are.
And that's cool, too. Your charity is?
New World Flood. It's flooding the world through giving and service, a single raindrop's beginning of a flood. We do everything from allowing people the chance to go inside of themselves and believe in themselves, knowing that they can make a difference, one action, one positive thought, and go out to the world and make a change, one action at a time, which will carry over into more positivity happening in their community. That's my nonprofit. That's what I'm about. That's what I started doing once I got done playing after I went through depression for about 2.5 years. So going through that and trying to figure out what purpose of life was led me to giving and led me to service.
It's funny you bring that up. I mean, that's when you're on this schedule of physical and mental toughness. And then one day, look, it happens to every player. It ends, and it's difficult, man. You're up, and then it's like, okay, now what? You have to find something different.
It's so true, and it happens to football guys all the time, but it happens to people every day. Whenever someone finds a passion that they love or something that they enjoy, and without even knowing whether it's a loved one that passes, whether it's a job that someone loses, whether a little kid leaves his blanket at grandma's house, there's going to be some struggle because that's where their identity's in. And it's a way you have to get out. You have to figure out what you're newly passionate about and find your new reason to be alive, truthfully.
Now, how did this all start with you and Cato? Were you guys friends in the NFL?
I'm not going to say we was friends, but I'm going to say we mutually respected each other. But we have a person who works with both of us who helps us do a lot of the behind-the-scenes things the past couple of years, which has given Cato and I a chance to get to know each other a lot better, which we know now that our passions align. We both have a heart to give, a heart to serve. So football, 52 weeks throughout the year, there's only one that, things start to get a little itchy and a little crazy. So we have a chance to use that game to just promote and to help us continue to further our good work.
Speaking with Spartan TJ Duckett here on the Steve Gruber Show on the Michigan Talk Network, rivalry weekend. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna talk football for just a second. When I heard Jim Harbaugh was coming, having been a lifelong Michigan fan myself, I'm like, oh gosh, I want to believe so bad. And I love Jim Harbaugh. I love what he's done. And I'll be surprised. I am surprised, I'll be honest, at what the team is doing, what he has come in for a first year. As a football player, you get a different look at it. Are you as surprised as I am?
I am, and I'm a little bit of both, and I'll tell you why. The reason why I'm not surprised is because Coach Harbaugh, his past, his track record. he comes in and he makes changes. He absolutely changes a program into what he feels it should be, and the players buy in. The thing that I am surprised about is just how much everyone thinks Michigan State's so terrible all of a sudden. that's what
I'm not
surprises
saying
me. All of a sudden it's like, wow, we guys. But no, they're Michigan. Their players, they've bought in. They absolutely believe that they have a chance in every game, and it shows. They're working hard, and it takes a good leader to take guys. And they already had talent. They already had a heart.
Sure.
They already wanted to be champions. So he's come in. He's shown that leadership. He's given them direction, and he's been able to take these young men and get them to commit into his program.
Now, real quickly, speaking with TJ Duckett, how can we get cash to either the Michigan State side or the Michigan side for this charity?
You can go to CatoVsTodd.com, CatoVsTodd, and choose either my side or the other guys, and have a chance to support. The website is very, very user friendly. You can also go to our New World Flood Facebook page, social media, Twitter, Instagram, all of that. If you can't remember that link or need a different portal to get there.
All right, I will go to CatoVsTodd.com. Also, I might have to just donate to both sides because I like you guys.
That sounds like a good idea.
I gotta stand. You're close to me. TJ Duckett, thank you so much.
Genuine Michigan common sense on display every day.
Welcome back to the Steve Gruber Show. I'm Duran Martinez in for Steve. Thanks again to Michigan State standout and former NFL player Todd TJ Duckett for joining us here on the show. You can, again, go to Cato, CATOVS Todd.com for their House Divided charity rivalry going on right now. You can donate to a Team Todd or donate to Team Cato. The donations for the TJ Duckett Foundation, the founder of the New World Flood Foundation, and also to Cato June, the head coach at C.H. Flowers High School, University of Michigan linebacker, former Indianapolis Colts, 6-year NFL player. His charity is on there as well. And the loser, a lot of this going around, the loser will be sporting the opposition's colors on social media. Photos will be there to put it out there to see who the winner is going to be. But again, thanks Todd for joining me, because I felt bad because he did feel like he was on the wrong show this morning. But it's all right, man. It's Friday. We are muddling through. 888-900-9966. If you'd like to join the conversation, anything you want to talk about this morning. You want to talk football, you want to talk Hillary, you want to talk Bernie, sounding so much like Steinbrenner from Seinfeld. Anything. I'll go through anything. We're going to get to your predictions here in the next segment, but a couple of news stories. A judge in Alabama is considering whether to grant a new trial to a woman serving life without parole in the running death of her 9-year-old granddaughter. 50-year-old Joyce Harden Gerard wants the judge to throw out her capital murder conviction, claiming her trial included numerous mistakes, including the judge wrongfully preventing her defense attorneys from presenting their theory about what led to Savannah Hardin's death in 2012. Prosecutors say Gerard made the girl run until she collapsed as punishment for lying. A hearing is set for this afternoon. Missing hiker has been found in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. The missing hiker from Illinois has been found in a wooded area in Michigan's far western UP. A television station in Wisconsin reports from a Gogebic County Sheriff's Office news release that the 71-year-old John Niesman was somewhat dehydrated after being located in the Waters Meat area. Go Nimrods. He has been hospitalized for evaluation. Niesman of Honor Glen was seen last Saturday at the Bel Air Motel in Land O'Lakes, Wisconsin. A jogger discovered his white SUV Wednesday night in Gogebic County, just over the Wisconsin state line. Family members said Niesman, who's also known as Wolverine Jack, goes on a hiking trip in Michigan's Upper Peninsula twice a year. Police in New York say it's the third time it's happened in the city in the past 3 months. A woman has tossed her infant son out of a window, killing the child. Police say it happened Thursday when 27-year-old Tanisha Fearon allegedly tossed her 6-month-old daughter from a 6th-floor window of an apartment in the Bronx. One neighbor says Fearon shouted, "I'm going to throw her. We're all going to die." Police say Fearon's 3 other children, ages 10, 8, and 3, were not injured. Not cool. Cannot imagine what was going on with that. Not going to speculate either. 888-900-9966 to take your calls today here on the Steve Gruber Show. Would like to get your take on anything. It's a free-for-all Friday. The phone lines are wide open as we muddle through the remainder of this day, this weekend. Big Michigan State-Michigan game happening. But you're probably tired of hearing already. Just want the game to be over. I'm looking forward to 3:30 on Saturday. I'll be sitting on the couch with chips and snacks and the like. So, we'll just be kicking back and let the college kids duke it out. And maybe I can get my good friend David, the Mad Dog DeMarco, to give me a little insight on this game as well. And, and find out a little bit more. And wow, look at that. I just waved through the window. I got David to pop in and here on the show. David, we just talked to TJ Duckett a couple of minutes ago.
Never heard of him.
Never. Alex, you got a mic for David? And, yeah.
Okay, now we can talk. We are right now?
Yeah, we're there.
Okay.
So TJ Duckett, Cato June have a charity thing going on.
They should.
And they should, exactly. And so the big battle is going on this weekend at the Big House in Ann Arbor. And look, everybody all of a sudden, has anointed Jim Harbaugh. I'm the Michigan fan, have not done that yet. Like TJ said, everybody's saying Michigan State looking bad. They got a lot of injuries, and they did beat Oregon this year.
Well, I mean, I look at it like this. Do you think that the offensive and defensive linemen are going to look across the line tomorrow and say, wait a minute, we beat these guys last year and beat them the year before, and yeah, there's a couple other different guys, but oh yeah, we can't beat these guys because Jim Harbaugh's their coach.
Yeah, well, it's the same team, and this is something that I've been going through with my girlfriend. It's like everybody's touting Michigan back. I'm a Michigan fan, and I've not had the Kool-Aid, if you will. I want to believe so badly, but we're only 5 games into the season.
Sports is a really, really strange dynamic in people's lives. It can be really greedy. It can be really overruling. Todd Duckett knows this rivalry better than anyone.
Sure.
With what he accomplished with the Cato June thing, if people know what we're talking about with Spartan Bob Clock. But that was then, and this is now, and last year was then, and this is now. And Jim Harbaugh is taught the whole dynamic now of this rivalry and brought it up a little bit quicker than people thought for what he's done. He has taken Brady Hoke's talent, added a few components like Jake Rudock to himself, and he has installed motivation, but most of all, confidence in this team. Confidence is pretty intense in sports. When you believe you can do something and you can do it, and that is that is the mark of a leader. And Jim Harbaugh, his resume is pretty incredible. And if you got anybody close to any of the Michigan fans, the Bo Schembechler-ish kind of guy, that would be him with his background with his dad, with Bo, with Mike Ditka, and what he accomplished with the San Francisco 49ers and Andrew Luck. But the bottom line is, you can flush all that down the toilet tomorrow because Mark D'Antonio has done an incredible job, and they have a quarterback that's lost 3 games. They have more of a talented quarterback, but Jake Rudock coming over from Kurt Ferentz's program at Iowa, they've kept it simplistic for him. Everybody is, we know what the defense has done with DJ Durkin, the defensive coordinator, but when it's all said and done, it's going to be done between the trenches, and we'll see how if the injuries, people get injured in football.
Sure.
All these guys are on the depth chart. No, the only person that's out was the backup Finley, who broke his leg 2 weeks ago. And you struggle. They've watched them struggle in these games, Michigan State. But like they say, they're still undefeated. I don't want to really hear excuses. Michigan State's got a job to do. They got some really, really good football players, outstanding football players, as Michigan does too. And it should be a real good game.
All right, David the Mad Dog DeMarco, an impromptu visit, man. I appreciate it.
I probably have this tattooed on my chest I've been talking about. But now, you know what? We're just in the matter of hours and hours. And, we'll have a big tailgate show tomorrow and then with the Mad Dog in the afternoon show. But you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, you have to take your hat off to what Jim Harbaugh has done. It's great for the rivalry. It's great for college football. And he's captivated the area.
Delivering Michigan common sense with a big dose of truth and honesty. Filling in for Steve Gruber, here is Duran Martinez.
We are the blue regime, ferocious, lean and mean. We're gonna reign supreme. We are the Wolverines.
Welcome back to the Steve Gruber Show. Hats off to Pop Evil for the best tune ever. Can I have a little more of that, Alex, please? In the big house. All right, big weekend going on. But we're going to shift back to news. As hard as it is, man. It is. Thanks to Nolan Finley for joining us, Detroit News opinion editor. Federal courts have not been perfect in blocking President Barack Obama's regulatory overreach, but they have been limiting force on the expansion of his powers. Welcome, Nolan. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Are you getting caught up in this whole thing for this weekend?
No, I'm not. I got no horse in the race.
You're a better man than I. Technically, I don't either. I didn't go to college, but I have a love for the maize and blue as I have my whole life.
There you go.
So, but back to the news, of the day. Michigan, 17 other states have put a stopper on the EPA's attempt to control nearly every drop of water in the United States. How is it possible? And look, I look at the EPA and I look at the current administration, and I'm like, well, overreach is kind of a thing for them. But seriously, water?
Well, I mean, this has been going on for a long time now, even under the previous administration. The EPA has been very aggressive in expanding its authority and its definition of its powers under the Clean Water Act. And under this administration, it's just exploded. But it's not the first time. And I remember years ago, a fellow in Midland named John Rapanos. I went up and covered a story. He had a cornfield, a soybean field. It was tiled 100 years ago for drainage. Had drainage dishes all around it, and he moved some sand around on this field to fill in some low spots, and the EPA was all over him, called it a wetland. Now, I don't know how you make a wetland out of a field that's been covered with drain tiles, but it cost him, they threatened him with prison, it cost him millions of dollars to defend himself, almost bankruptcy. And they just kept relentlessly trying to, take really control of his property.
To me, overreach is an understatement in that he's just flattening out some spots, make it a little easier to maybe to work the land, to make a living. And they're reaching in, telling that this is a wetland, when probably it wasn't a wetland to begin with. And I understand the designation of wetlands and the protection of it.
Well, I mean, and that's the problem with this expansion. It takes an already aggressive rule and makes it even broader, so there's not a drop of water practically in the nation that's not under EPA control, and that has some very specific ramifications for property owners who want to do modifications to their property, want to fill in a low spot, want to create a pond. All over the country, you already have the EPA just ruining people's lives with lawsuits and, in effect, confiscating their property. And under this administration, that whole regulatory regime has just exploded.
So let me get this straight. If I own some property, I'm going to go bust a few tiles out there, make a pond for myself. I could face jail time and heavy fines.
Well, unless you do, unless you do what the EPA demands you do. Yeah, I mean, it puts the federal government into local zoning decisions. It forfeits your property rights, on and on and on.
I guess what I'm not understanding is how the governmental agency on the national level just can come in when we have separation for local state governments and local ordinances.
Well, I mean, it's the federal the Federal Clean Water Act and its expansion. It was never intended to get this deep into local waterways, local matters. It has just been. It's an extraordinary abuse of power.
Nolan Finley is our guest here, Detroit News op editor here on the Steve Gruber Show. Now, thanks to the Sixth Circuit Court, it's on hold. How are we able to put this on hold?
Well, the court just ruled that the scientific basis that the EPA was claiming for its authority here was, an overreach, and that they didn't have the legal arguments for this nor the scientific arguments for this, and I would expect that the Supreme Court will uphold it. I mean, this was something that congressional Republicans were very upset about, and of course had no ability to block it themselves. There was some threats that they would not fund it, not fund enforcement of the rule, but that's a really weak defense.
Absolutely. Nolan Finley, I appreciate you joining us here on the Steve Gruber Show.
Thank you, man.
No, absolutely. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you giving us a little heads up on this, and hopefully we can have the Supreme Court uphold this whole thing.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much. Yeah, bye-bye. Whatever you do, if you own property, maybe you farm for a living and you need to fill a spot in, maybe you have some extra property, you want to put a little pond in, break a couple tiles out in your field, don't do it. Do not do it. EPA will be knocking on your door, knocking on your bank account, and threatening jail time with you. I'm Duran Martinez, the Steve Gruber Show, 888-900-9966. And I kind of wish Steve was in here on this topic because he has faced some issues of the like, having property, having a pond on his property. And, and I kind of look at it this way. I'm all about the ask forgiveness, not permission. But maybe forgiveness from the EPA is something that's not going to happen. It's the Steve Gruber Show on the Michigan Talk Network.